Princess Amira.
Al-Tawil.
Princess Amira
Al-Tawil.
of Saudi Arabia.
One minute, she was at the UN. The next, she vanished without a trace. No goodbye, no scandal, just silence. A Saudi princess with wealth beyond imagination, and a life so private even her exits were invisible. Jets without records, palace without cameras. This disappearance, this is how power erases itself.
Miss Global Forum is important because most of the world's population are youth, and we have almost the same challenges. We became a small village in a way with the internet and technology, and so it's important to have a platform where young people from all over the world can discuss challenges and feel similarities and learn from each other.
In a world intoxicated by excess, she glided through it all, velvet-gowned, diamond-wrapped, untouchable. Cameras loved her. Billionaires wanted her at their tables. News outlets scrambled to catch a quote. But now, silence. No tweets, no red carpets, no paparazzi glimpses at French ports or London penthouses. Not even the dull whisper of gossip. The woman who once conquered headlines has faded from them entirely. Who walks away from that kind of power? And more chillingly, who gets erased from it?
When people look at Saudi Arabia, they look at this lens. Unfortunately, I'd say what Trump says fake news, but they look at this lens of, Saudi Arabia as a place where women are oppressed. Saudi Arabia is a place where women are, backwards. And that's completely not true. On the ground, women are very strong, they're very powerful.
She wasn't born a princess, but she became one, then surpassed it. For years, she was the enigma of elite circles. Striking, articulate, always 2 steps ahead of the narrative. She turned every room into a kingdom, every lens into a throne. Her elegance wasn't merely fashion, it was strategy. Then, like a mirage, she disappeared, vanished, not in tragedy, but in silence. No scandal, no final press appearance, no grand goodbye. There were no scandals, no farewell interviews, no cries for attention, just a long, eerie pause. Those who watched her rise started asking, was it exile? Was it a choice? Or had something, or someone, silenced her?
It's a beautiful word to say a challenge, because it is a challenge. I think we're a dreamy generation. We dream a lot. We love to accomplish a lot. We have high hopes. And it's a challenge because once that doesn't meet other values such as, optimism, such as insisting to make it work no matter what.
At first, whispers circled in private lounges and first-class cabins. She hasn't been to Paris in over a year. Her penthouse in Mayfair has been locked up. No lights, no staff. Her yacht hasn't been spotted since the Venice Film Festival. But one thing about billionaires, they don't just disappear, not without setting off alarms. And she wasn't just a billionaire. She was the kind that lit fires in boardrooms and hearts, the kind that defied tradition with a smile and walked into rooms full of monarchs as she owned them. She might have worn couture, but her real power came from defiance, the elegant, effortless kind. So what could possibly make a woman like that vanish? Before she was ever missing, she was unforgettable. Her name? You didn't forget it after hearing it. It lingered in memory like perfume. But what you remembered more was the way she entered a room. Bold, soft-spoken, impossibly poised. She rose to international fame after marrying a Saudi prince, one of the world's richest men. But her allure was never borrowed, it was hers. Even after the marriage ended, she didn't retreat into shadows like most royal consorts. She stepped forward.
Such as insisting to make it work no matter what, then you get disappointed. And I feel that it's very important for youth to understand that it's beautiful to have high hopes and dreams, but we need to keep going and never give up if we ever want to reach even close to it.
She spoke on Oprah, on CNN, at the World Economic Forum. She was no ornament, she was a force. And unlike most royals, she used her title as a tool to push for something more than power. She pushed for reform. She was no figurehead. She didn't ride in limousines just to wave at crowds. She walked into UN buildings and asked difficult questions. She co-founded media companies to spotlight Arab youth, invested in global tech, and supported women's education in regions where it had once been forbidden. Her name was on the boards, her voice in think tanks, her influence reached from Riyadh to Silicon Valley. And yet, it all stopped. Her company websites changed their leadership pages. Her charities quietly removed her bio. Her name no longer appeared in articles about Arab philanthropy, as if the world had agreed to forget her.
We see a channel, we see links, we see paths of change. There's a lot of reforms happening in the government with women empowerment, with equal rights, with a lot of things. And our job as NGOs is to actually help facilitate those changes and build civil society.
Her life was one of deliberate, dazzling construction. Custom Rolls-Royces, limited edition Lamborghinis, a private yacht with an onboard cinema and helipad. Her Riyadh palace alone reportedly contained golden mosaics, indoor waterfalls, and a security team with intelligence backgrounds. But all of it, gone from public view. Her yacht hasn't been tracked in Mediterranean waters. Her vehicles haven't been photographed in public. Her Mayfair apartment, a hushed vacancy. Private staff, once fiercely loyal, have gone suspiciously quiet, as if they've signed more than just NDAs.
We're blessed to have women graduating from law, including, one of them is my sister. So one of the things we're doing at the foundation, we created this workshop where 600 women can gather together, learn about, with another organization, learn about the tools to channel their voices. And you know the saying, the wheel that squeaks the most gets the grease?
In 2018, she surprised everyone, not with another speech, but with a wedding. This time, to an Emirati billionaire, even more private than she. The ceremony, allegedly held in Paris, had no photos. Then she vanished from the guest circuits she used to dominate. Many believed it was a choice, to step back, build a family, retreat into peace. But those who knew her best said peace was never her goal. Change was, revolution, elegance, reinvention. So why would a woman of revolution go mute?
Like the first university that teaches law, but we want more, We're satisfied with the way things are going, but we still want more until we get our full equal rights.
And I do think the perception among many Western women is that the Middle East is a little backwards.
Saudi Arabia was changing. Vision 2030 promised reforms, but change, when imposed top-down, has its limits. And rebels, even royal ones, often find themselves inconvenient. She had once spoken bravely about women's right to drive, long before it was legal. She defied norms. She redefined them. But reformers within regimes always walk a line. Some said she was warned. Others said she crossed a line no one dared.
I think the whole region is impatient. My grandmother told my mother step by step. My mother told me step by step. There's no way on earth will I tell my daughter step by step. We're impatient and we want to change. But nevertheless, we're very much optimistic.
It's said that her advocacy for women's rights wasn't just bold, it was dangerous. In a country where the act of a woman simply driving was once forbidden, Amira made it clear, "I want to be among the first women to drive on Saudi roads." That wasn't just a statement, it was a challenge, a warning, a prophecy. And it didn't sit well with the royals watching from the shadows.
But you can't judge from a different lens. You have to, in an age where technology exists, social media exists, global conversations exist, you have to keep an open mind.
In 2012, Princess Amira appeared on Bloomberg, interviewed by Charlie Rose. The conversation was poised, civil, even graceful. But beneath the polished answers and global diplomacy, something rebellious was glowing. She wasn't just speaking about equal rights, she was confronting the very structure of control in Saudi society. You won't find Amira grandstanding about her philanthropy, but follow the money, and you'll find she's been funding a revolution far greater than her media persona suggests. As a board trustee of Silatech, she has helped launch one of the Arab world's most strategic weapons against unrest: jobs.
highest rates of women entrepreneurs in the MENA region, the Middle East and North Africa region, is in Saudi Arabia. A lot of women are successful in business and the educational sector and the healthcare sector, and we're getting progress. Definitely, I would like to see more progress in other fields, like the legal sector, but we're getting there. We're just starting to build
Are
civil
women being
society.
treated with more respect, do you think, as they become able to enjoy better education and encouraged to do so? Is there a higher level of respect now?
I think this generation is different than any other generation. Other than the fact that they're globalized and interconnected, they don't look at women as they're inferior to them. They look at them as equal to them. And that's one of the things that encouraged women in my society. The fact that a lot of the men in their family actually are very supportive of them working, supportive of them acquiring better education, even traveling on scholarships that the king has made for a lot of women in Saudi Arabia.
Silahek isn't just about employment, it's about power. Youth in the Arab world make up over 60% of the population. Give them purpose, and you stabilize nations. Leave them idle, and the streets burn. Princess Amira? She chose to build, not burn. Silently, persistently, across borders. And yet, she never boasted. She holds honorary membership with the Disabled Children's Association. She's on the honorary board of the Saudi Volunteering Society. To the average observer, these may seem like decorative roles. But look deeper, and a pattern emerges. She wasn't inserting herself into spaces of prestige. She was embedding herself into the fabric of Saudi Arabia's neglected communities. Children, the disabled, the unemployed. These weren't vanity causes. They were the kind of causes that changed laws or rattled regimes. When Amira moved, it wasn't with press releases, it was with impact. The Al Walid Foundation was once a vehicle for her husband's empire, but under Amira, it became something else entirely. She steered the foundation's vision toward women's empowerment, education, interfaith dialogue, and disaster relief. It grew global legs and a sharp local backbone.
Being a social barrier where she can't go to some places because of this driver, lack of privacy, sometimes safety issues. Other than all of these issues all together, just inside of our community, the fact that it's symbolic outside.
She stopped appearing at forums, her once vibrant Instagram dormant, her charity posts scrubbed. There was no public fallout, no tell-all, no scandal, just a royal woman slipping out of the frame. Some point to her remarriage, perhaps she was encouraged to retreat. Others believe powerful interests were at play, ones that didn't want an outspoken Saudi woman with international clout and a Western following. Even her Wikipedia page started to shrink. A glimpse in Monaco, a blurred figure in Dubai, someone who looked like her at a London cafe. Nothing confirmed.
Where we're being judged as suppressed and as happy with the status quo when we're not, because of the fact that we're not driving. And no matter what we do, no matter how many accomplishments we do, like having the highest rates of women entrepreneurs in the Middle East.
Her Riyadh residence wasn't just a palace, it was a kingdom of its own. Sources whisper of 24-karat gold faucets, ceilings painted with real diamond dust, and imported Italian marble floors that had to be cooled before she walked barefoot. It's said her perfume was customized by Maison Francis Kurkdjian and costs more than most people's homes. Her closets? Designed by former Dior architects. Her jewelry vault? A subterranean chamber requiring biometric access. The crown jewel? A blue diamond rumored to have belonged to the Nizam of Hyderabad. Bert, here's the twist. Amira never posted it, never showed it off. The extravagance wasn't for social media. It was her shield, her bubble, her fortress. Behind all the velvet and Versace, a quiet storm brewed.
And of course, having more sectors in the educational sector for women. And we've been seeing a lot of steps, like the first university that teaches law.
Most royals are tethered to their nations, but Amira? She's the rare royal with a passport portfolio. With diplomatic clearances from multiple countries, including Saudi Arabia, UAE, and reportedly even Switzerland, she can cross borders the way most people cross streets. Her property holdings, spanning Paris, Belgravia, Dubai, and the Maldives, are all owned through shell corporations and family offices. No titles trace back to her directly. Not even luxury tracking services can pinpoint where she resides on any given day. She is, in every sense, a billionaire without a flag. And yet, Her influence remains stronger than ever.
If we have more women lawyers in courts, inevitably we'll have women judges, and inevitably it will affect that system where it will be much more comfortable for a woman to go to court. You know, imagine you're coming into an environment, well, it's, you know, all male dominated.
But for someone who once courted attention, her complete erasure feels surgical, as if her life was wiped clean, digitally and socially. A final act of control by powers unseen. Now you know her name, Princess Amira Al Tawil. Born in Riyadh, educated in America, married to royalty, then divorced it, then redefined it. She built her own empire. She challenged systems. She inspired millions, and then she vanished. So the question remains, did she choose silence, or was she silenced? One day, she may reappear. And if she does, the world better be ready. Because a woman like Amira doesn't just disappear.
Since I come from, you know, middle-class family, my mom is divorced, my aunt is divorced, I know what they went through, and I don't want to see any woman go through that again. Other than the legal sector, we need to have more fields in the workforce for women, like engineering. I think that will be, and I saw a lot of young girls who said, I want to be an architect, I want to be an engineer.
She plans. Even in absence, her ideas linger. Her speeches are replayed in women's conferences. Her initiatives continue, quietly, almost anonymously. Her name is etched into the soul of a region fighting to redefine itself. And those who want her forgotten, they've made one mistake. They underestimated a woman who knew how to wield silence like a sword. Because sometimes, vanishing isn't retreat. It's a strategy. And every strategy has an endgame. She had the world watching, and then she disappeared without a trace. No scandals, no farewells. Just a life of luxury turned into a legend. If you want more stories like this, subscribe, stay alert, and follow the silence. Because sometimes, the most powerful voices leave without saying a word.